What will the Numark DJ2GO3 look like? I'm DJ Spiegel Spin, and the Numark DJ2GO2 Touch is my favorite DJ controller. So in this video, I just want to talk about the features that I hope the new one has. If you've watched any of my DJ tutorial videos, you would know that I love this mini DJ controller by Numark. This is the Numark DJ2GO2 Touch. I made multiple videos about how to scratch, how to map the controller, and how to basically do everything you could do with this controller. But I was thinking, this was released in 2017, and we're due for a new one. So this controller has a special place in my heart because the original version of this controller was my first DJ controller, which looked something like this. It was kind of silly looking and didn't really work well, but it was the controller that I had and I loved it. So you had the two jog wheels. They weren't touch sensitive. They didn't really work very well, but they were there. Then you had volume controls, which these were the volume controls for each deck. And then you had BPM, sync, pitch bend, and that's about it. And a weird crossfader that was like really small. And then Numark in 2017 came out with this controller. Well, the first one that came out was the Numark DJ2GO2. And it was basically the same exact controller, except the jog wheels weren't touch sensitive. So the jog wheels looked a little bit differently. They didn't have this metal piece on them. And with the touch sensitive controls, now the top is scratching and then the side is to nudge the track, just like on CDJs and just like on bigger, more expensive controllers. And it made the DJ experience so much better. So let's see, what is this controller missing that would probably be pretty easy to add? Well, to help figure it out, let's look at another mini controller. So Hercules is also a brand that makes a lot of these mini controllers. And this is the Hercules DJ Control Starlight. And the biggest difference between the two controllers is the Starlight has a bass knob. So it's kind of hard to mix and blend songs together without having control of a bass knob or a high pass or low pass filter. And now these two knobs down here are what controls the bass, and then if you use shift, I think, then you could have a filter. So it's not a full EQ, but you could still do mixes. You could drop the bass in, take the bass out, and it was one big thing that this controller is missing. So on the new controller, I hope to see an EQ. So we have the volumes here, and then we could have 1, 2, or maybe even 3 knobs here for lobes, mids, and highs. And then also, if this controller is developed alongside with algorithm, then maybe we could have it be, drums, vocals, and drums, harmonics, and vocals, and have a Nero mix, EQ similar to that to the Reloop Buddy. Now, another thing that this controller is missing is effects. So a lot of pretty much all DJs use effects a lot, and using an effect is a great way to do an easy transition, a great way to make a song sound like your own. And with this controller, the way it is without mapping it, I made videos on how to get around these things and map them, but there is no effects button. So I believe that we should have an EQ, a couple of these little knobs. They could even make the knobs a little bit smaller if they need to fit, but having those EQs would really help. And then maybe over here where it says 2, maybe on that 2 in that space over there, or even on the headphones, there could be an effect. So if this headphone button was an effect, so turn effect 1 on, turn effect 1 off, instead of having the headphones, maybe we could put the headphones at the bottom, or we could put the headphone somewhere at the top, or we could just get rid of it, because when you use DJ Pro AI, it automatically changes where the headphones are routed when you move the crossfader. So we're going to have EQ section, and we're going to have at least 1, maybe even 2 effects buttons, or if they're following the new trend, which the Reloop Buddy did, and then the new mix track controllers, it could be an effect paddle. So you flip it up, and the effect stays on, and then you hold it down, and then the effect only stays on for when you're holding it. I think that would be really, really cool and really set the new controller apart from a lot of other ones. Now, another thing would be to have a mic input. So the reason why I recommend that anyone that uses DJ Pro AI to get this controller is because of the built-in soundboard. So you plug your audio cable in here. That's your main output, and then over here we plug in our headphones. So instead of using a million adapters with the iPad, we could just have the controller and the iPad, and then this is our sound card where the sound comes out of. So why can't they just, instead of where the microphone input is, it's the same type of thing. If they just, where the headphone input is, they could put an area for us to plug in a microphone. Having a microphone when you DJ is really important. Even if you don't plan on being an MC, it's still important to make announcements and do shout outs and stuff like that. So this controller, there's really no reason why it shouldn't have a mic input. Now, another thing that this controller could add in the future one is similar to the Pioneer Flex 4, where you could choose to plug it in with USB, or you could flip a switch, and then you have a Bluetooth controller. So I made a lot of videos on the new Bluetooth controllers, and they have their ups, they have their downs, but some people like to use Bluetooth, some people like to use less wires, and they did it with the Flex 4, so the technology is possible, and that is something that they could simply just add into this controller. Another thing that would be really cool is like a touchpad. So maybe they could put a touch strip or a touchpad. A lot of controllers have these touchpads, and you could do various different things like filter. You could have the pad for the XY axis for effects, and it would be really cool if they had it. It would make it look really modern and really, futuristic, and that is something that I hope they add. Another thing would be to make these BPM sliders, make them a little bit longer. So with these BPM sliders, yeah, it's good that they added them, but it makes manually beat matching really hard because you have to be really careful with how you move these. And there's all this open real estate on the controller. I don't understand why they couldn't have made it a little bit longer. So let me know in the comments on what you wish is added to the new Numark DJ2GO3. I don't have any information about when it's coming out or if there is, or if they're even working on it, but we can only hope. So let me know what you guys would like to have added. Let me know if you think I missed something, and any other question revolving controllers or DJing on the iPad, I get back to all the questions as soon as possible. And if you found value in this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.